pay the price for your lack of vision.
What? Wow. Give me back. I eat that. Hey, I want to play the beer reviews. These toasted strudels. Eat that!
Were you expecting someone else? Let's start the show.
You guys are so screwed now! Oh, it is I, it is he, it is me, P-double-D-E, Tepwa, cooing in the place to be reviews, right here with all the yous, even the Orthodox Jews. L'chaim, my people. Mazel tov. Happy Friday night. Starts your Fandom Menace Friday night right here with the Fandom Menace People's Champion. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number 8. Man, we got a great show planned for you tonight. I'm here with myself and, of course, my co-host, Mr. Tony Tone Deaf.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the owner of the worst channel on YouTube and commander to the legion of deaf heads, the world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy aligned with the like-minded, Tony Tone Deaf rocking with you. It's Friday night, Fandom Menace going in live. SmackDown, homie.
All right,
They're
man.
on the place to be reviews.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We got it, brother. We got it. All right. And our guest this evening, Mr. Greg LeVitre, comic creator, and he is the creator of the book Gun Demons, available on IndieGoGo right now. I'll be dropping that link in the chat. Welcome, Greg. This is your debut here on the show. Welcome, my friend.
What's up, nerds? How you guys doing?
Good, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here this evening. We appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure. It is
Man.
really my pleasure, Pete. I saw this channel when it started, and man, has it come along. Look at this. This is great, dude. Every time I catch one of your shows, I just feel I'm so happy for you, man. This is where you belong.
Thank you, man. It's fun, man. Like I said, we just we're at 509 subscribers right now.
Damn.
Yeah, it's honestly we hit a little stride, and I have to say, Batwoman coming back helped. Oh my people love to see me suffer, man. I hate the show with a passion. And I was like, I was thinking coming into the season, at least with Javicia Leslie, she's a little easier on the eyes, she's actually looks like a woman. And 2 seconds into the show, the cringe just hits and you're like, oh shit. It's a Berlanti production. You're gonna get hit with that 2-piece combo of woke. And yeah, it just went to hell in a handbasket. But enough about that shit, man. Why don't you tell us about Gun Demon, man, and how you got this project off the ground?
Well, that's a long start. I'll skip that for now because we're not doing a 10-hour show here. But what Gun Demon is about essentially is the world it's set in is you have heaven and hell, which are actually planets, not supernatural places. And the creatures that live on them, the angels, the devils, the demons, these are extraterrestrial creatures. And for thousands of years, they've been battling each other on Earth, using it as their battlefield so that they don't, mess, you don't want to fight in your own city, right?
Yep.
And so they've been doing this for some time. I've got I don't want to say much about this guy, but I've got a maestro behind the scenes who's sort of my Darth Sidious. He's definitely heavily influenced by Plagueis and Sidious, and he is a devil. I will say that much.
All right.
Not too much of a spoiler. The title of the book is Devil's Overture, and that's a little bit of a hint as to what's to come.
Okay.
But basically, what happens is you've got this world set up, all this going on, and then a new type of demon is created, a humanoid shaped demon, and it is 3 of them are sent to Earth, and when they get here, one of them finds joy for the first time, believe it or not, playing a freaking Atari 2600 on an old black and white TV with cracks on it, and he's got the taped up controller. He sees these homeless guys sitting there playing Berserk, and and he goes, ooh, because he's basically like a child in his mind. He's only about a year old when it comes to human things, in life. Yeah. But he's a weapon. He was created to be a weapon. So when it comes to combat and survival, that's where he really shines. And it's a stranger in a strange land story. This devil basically makes some friends with humans and feels belonging for the first time, and decides that he doesn't want to go through with his mission, which would harm the humans. And yeah, and in the middle of all this, he gets swept up, in all these crazy things. And he's just a little guy trying to get by in the world. He's kind of like anybody that I think has felt like an outcast or hasn't really quite belonged, where they are, will really relate with this character, because that's really what he is. He really doesn't fucking belong on Earth.
So it's kind of like that, like you said, like the fish out of water, stranger in a strange land thing. Is what did you do? Like, did you develop all the characters yourself? Are these all like yours, or did you have somebody else? Do you have like a co-creator on it, or did you write and just create all this on your own? Because I kind of toyed around with a little bit of like a loose outline for it. Would have been like a television show, a sci-fi kind of show, and I have no problem setting up like scenarios and developing characters. But the problem is like names. I coming up with names and having them sound like good. I used a copyright free like name generator, because I'm just like, I can create things. Like I said, I can develop them. I can give them life and depth, but I can't name things. That's my issue. How do you work around that?
That's actually one of my specialties as a developer. I've always been really good at names.
Okay.
The thing with Gun Demon actually just came to me. Some characters I have to really sometimes put 6 months to a year even off and on developing the character, let them ruminate in my head and see which directions they go. Gunny just happened. There's a game called City of Heroes, City of Villains, MMORPG. I don't know if you guys ever played that or are aware of it. It's a superhero MMORPG, and there's a private server I play on sometimes. What I did basically was I created about 35 different characters, and out of all of them, 2 of them were good that I felt were really good, kind of stood out, like the concepts, the names and everything. And then I took some of the better elements of all the other ones and stuck in there. I'm not afraid to break eggs. The biggest thing is you can't get emotionally attached to concepts in your story or your characters. You got to be ready to get rid of them at any time or alter them significantly. And so I started with this idea of Gun Demon. I wanted to have a Spider-Man style character, but I don't like to create derivative characters. Now, most indie creators, if they're making their Spider-Man, it's going to be a masked guy. It's going to very much resemble Spider-Man. It's very derivative. But what I like to do is I like to capture the essence of the character that's influencing me, and then do something completely different with that style. So you get sort of that Spider-Man feel from Gunny in his combat. He leaps very quickly. He dodges. He's always jumping around, dodging these huge creatures, which, by the way, if you'd like to show the Destroyer Demon design that Carlos Villas designed, he's my creature designer. We're actually going way above and beyond on creature design and character design in the team. We're doing what's more on par with film creature design. And then, of course, the characters will be drawn, the creatures and such will be drawn by pencilers, inkers, and everything in the pages. But the designs themselves, we're designing them as if it's for film, because we have some plans in the future we're hoping to get to where we can make a cinematic universe out of all of our characters. Which, when I say we, this is part of your question here, part of the answer. I've teamed up with Lee Kemosabe Carver, who is the creator of The Company Men. And Lee is a brilliant writer, very, very creative guy, very critical. You can check out his reviews of comic books. It's Kemosabe Returns is his channel. Well, we've got a shared universe, and we've got 5 other creators who are bringing characters into this universe. And Lee and I are the phase 2 launches. Company Men launches about 2 weeks before Gun Demon, and that's going to be very soon. He's launching early February. I'm launching late February. That's our phase 1 Brain Cage launch. I got some other crazy stuff going with that launch. One of our phase 2 titles by creator Daniel Fogarty is called World War Hell. It is set in World War II, and you've got Axis and Allied forces fighting it out on the battlefield. Then all of a sudden, the portals to hell open and demons spill out and start wiping everybody out. So the hardest of the hard and the survivors have to band together. The Axis and the Allied forces banding together to save humanity.
All right.
And while that's going on, you have a few of our Golden Age heroes that come in during the scrap down. And then, as if that's not enough, they end up, the soldiers and engineers end up rigging up Franken tanks. So you get kind of that Mad Max vehicle feel mixed with World War II style in there.
Nice.
Yeah. So like Daniel says, he's creating, his book is going to be an 80s horror movie in your hand mixed with a war movie and a little bit of superheroes thrown in. So, well, anyways, what I was getting, I'm sorry, I went off on another tangent. I've got so much data. Sorry, my hair keeps sticking up like I got a cow lick or something here. Oh well, you guys don't care. I'm not trying to get laid.
I don't have that problem, so
right. Yeah, so basically I went around shopping around. When I came into Comicsgate, I was a Fandom Menace member, pretty active too, for years. And then I found Ethan Van Sciver's videos, and he showed me it might be possible for an indie creator to actually follow their dreams of creating a comic book. And so I came into Comicsgate full force, started one-on-oneing with all the creators I could, learning what I could from them, doing serious R&D. And in that process, putting together my creative team, I ended up with James Dean Anderson is who designed my protagonist, Gunny. And honestly, I got so lucky there because I've found since then that most artists out there have trouble drawing Gunny because he has these childlike features. The first 2 books, he's in his toddler stage. And so he's got this kind of childlike, his eyes are further apart, wider. He's got that look of wonder and things like that, very childish. And a lot of the guys are having trouble drawing him because of that. They draw him really badass and more matured. And so I got lucky that I got this guy that really captured the spirit of this character. As soon as I saw his design, like we talked for about 4 hours in a meeting, and then he held up the design of Gunny, and I knew I was looking at Gunny, and he looked nothing really. I can't say nothing, but he looked a lot different than what I had originally imagined. But that's how I do things is when you're hiring the best, you don't sit there and micromanage them and think that you're better than them at what they do.
Yeah.
You trust them. You use their wisdom, their experience, and you let them do what they really shine at. And then you just give them just a minimal amount of direction to keep it close to your original idea and the theme you're going for and all that. And it's been working fabulously. You can see from the cover of my book, that's one of the best looking book covers of 2021. I'm going to call it right now, not just because it's my book, but I'm making the book I want to see. So of course I'm going to say that, this is a sexy book to me, and there you have Gunny. Can't really see the cover on my pre-launch page that well, but the scene is the beginning of Act 3 in the book when the villain Abaddon bursts into the scene and starts attacking Gunny. Abaddon was designed. It always starts with my concepts, and then I go to a specific designer that I know will be really good at that style of character. I don't just stick with one guy or get somebody cheap. I go for the best. So I went to Said NoCon to do my covers. I love his high detail art style and the way he draws creatures and things like that. And you look at Abaddon there. Abaddon looks amazing. I think we created one of the best monstrous villains out there. So Abaddon is based on Christian demonology of a demon, a destroyer that has a cloud of locusts that follow it everywhere, or devouring all organic life.
Okay.
And so it's played out in our story because here's one of the fun themes of our Brain Cage universe is it's mythology explained using extraterrestrials and advanced tech. So it's kind of like Stargate, but with superheroes.
Okay.
So, Abaddon straight out of, Christian demonology. And, instead of a cloud of locusts, literally he has drones. It's a cloud of locust shaped drones that he produces. And he's like he's kind of like Juggernaut. He just runs right through walls. He has, damn near, impenetrable skin. He's really bad. And one of the themes of our universe also is we love underdog heroes and really powerful, scary villains, especially monstrous villains. So expect to see a lot of that in Brain Cage. which if you show the Destroyer Demon design, you'll see what I mean by some of our monstrous villains. I'm sorry, but this hair thing is really bothering me. Give me a second here.
No
I'm not
problem.
that vain, but it just looks retarded.
That art looks great, though.
I know.
Isn't it amazing?
Can I, Greg, can I show those trading cards that you sent me?
Please do. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Excellent. I want to show those. I want to ask you real quick. Because I have those pulled up here. Let me come back and do screen share again.
Mind you, some of this art is filler art. Some of it is from the Company Men and Gun Demon books. They're just slopped in there for sample. But we're going to have different art, fresh new art done for the cards. And the one on the bottom left, I believe, isn't even one of ours. I think Kemosabe just grabbed it off of Google image search just to use it, as a sample or something. So the art is going to be much different. Plus, James Dean Anderson is reformatting all the cards, and he's really the best I've ever seen at branding and all that. So it's going to be about 10 times better looking than that when it gets done.
So we had this one. There's the Brain Cage logo. And what was this one now?
Now that is the Destroyer Demon. That's the heavy cavalry for the demon army. So, the demons will send swarmers in, by the buttloads, and then these other types of demons called trappers. The trappers have arachnid type arms, and they'll grab people and they drag them back to basically the forward outpost that the demons set up. And then they slap these control mechanism, like, creature type things onto them. It's sort of like a symbiote, like with Venom.
Yeah.
And it controls them, and that creates the drones. So it basically turns available indigenous into, infantry. And so they use all these fodder troops and some other horrific creatures. By the way, the creator of World War Hell, Daniel Fogarty, he works in the EMS field, and he's had to clean up roomfuls of blood and all this horrible stuff before. So he's playing out all this grisly stuff he sees at work through these creatures. Like, these demons kill you every horrible way imaginable. He's got a type that will suck your bones out. Like, they liquefy your bones through an injection, with the proboscis, and then they suck out your bones and out of your body. There's another type that suffocates you. We've got these insect type creatures that burrow into your skin and eat their way out. It's horrible. There's the actual finished cover there. You can see James Dean Anderson's really beautiful formatting work on that. He brought it out, just really brought that art out and made it pop. And I'm so proud of that cover.
That is, man. That is definitely something to be proud of, man. You have, like I said, looks like you've got a really nice concept and all that. I like the looks of it, the aesthetic. It looks like a book you would want, like just looking at it from the outside right now. It looks like a book you would see on a shelf at a comic shop. It does.
Beautiful.
It does. That's what it looks like to me.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Let me acknowledge the chat here real quick. We got Nano Reaper up in the house. Keely Chow, Angelus Draven. What's up, man? He was on with us. Wednesday night with Culture Casino. Daisy Divine. Good evenings. Good evening, all. Yes, thank you. Be sure to bitch slap that like button for me while you're here, and tweet that link out, share it. However, whatever social media platform you may be on, just share that link out. Tony, how much? I know you read comics, Tony. What are your? I mean, this is. I like. Have you backed any Comicsgate IndieGoGo campaigns?
No.
I was just wondering if you, because like the only one I've really backed is Jeff's. I backed Stealing Solo.
I wanted to back that one, but just at the time I kind of couldn't.
Dude, trust me, I know I was there. It was like I wasn't working at that point. I was just staying home with the kid. It's just like the extra money. I'm like, you know what, dude? But I believed in Jeff, and he was like one of those things. It's like, Sal sent me a copy. I have Cyberfrog, and actually, if I turn my camera around, there's like the Cyberfrog trading cards and stuff on the wall there. But I love to see the point I'm getting to. I love to see this community of independent creators and how it's come. We had Phoenix Animation on a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's we've got I'm trying to think who we've got. Well, we had Alan Yaskovitz from Doom Scholar Studios. He's starting a complete entertainment like company up. Doom Scholar Studios. It's solid stuff, and I like to see this, man. And I've been talking to Greg about getting him on here for a while and getting into this. And I want to hear more. Tony, do you have any questions for him before I go on with any?
No.
Okay.
Sounds badass.
I know.
Awesome.
I want to hear more about your processes and stuff like that. Anything you want to talk about with the book, man. Go ahead. This is, like I said, this is the format.
Some of the stuff just happens. It's an abstract thing that creators do, writers, character developers. Sometimes it just happens. Some of it, but there is a lot of thought behind every one of these characters, the world, every decision we're making, because we want to maximize the plot possibilities. I hate Game of Thrones with a passion because every plot decision made on that damn show cuts all the best plot possibilities that my imagination, would dream up, and that the fans would dream up. Like, if you remember when that was running, fans had all these hypotheses about where certain characters were going to go and all that. The fans were better writers because their hypotheses were much better plot possibilities than what we got almost every time. I feel that way with The Walking Dead as well. The last several seasons, particularly. I
still love that show. I'm just attached to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah?
Like I've been reading the comics since it came out, through the end, issue 193.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I've been down with the show since freaking day one.
Sorry.
It is. Oh, you're right, bro. It's, and it got bad. I admit, it got bad. There was but the main show I always watched, Fear the Walking Dead, I still watched even when it was bad. Now that new one, it's like it has connections to the Rick movies, so I'll begrudgingly sit there and hate watch it. I mean, if I can sit through Batwoman and Black Christmas and Charlie's Angels and this shit, I can make it through a bad, 46 minutes of The Walking Dead or Walking Dead: The World Beyond, which is like the young adult Walking Dead, and it's like the only reason I watched is because of the ties to the Rick movies. But Game of Thrones, I have seen maybe 4 complete episodes of that show. That's it. I never watched it. I thought there were some cool scenes. Like I've watched a bunch of fight scenes and shit like that. Those seem to be well done. But overall, it's like I know at the end, spoiler alert, I laugh when it's like she gets mad. What's her name from Solo there? Amelia Clark gets mad because her cousin won't bang her, and then she dies, and the dragon takes her away and burns the throne, but doesn't kill Jon Snow. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I did watch the finale. I was just
what got me? I've studied tactics pretty much my whole life, just out of interest. I hate war. War's awful, but tactics I love. I always did. Art of War, Sun Tzu's Art of War has been something that I've studied off and on over the years and implemented. And the thing is when I watch something that has armies, I expect to see at least competent tactics involved in the decisions made by the leaders of those armies. And when you watch Game of Thrones there, where what the fuck were they called? The Berserker guys. They sent them in, they're light cavalry. They sent them in first, and then the rest of the army sat back and watched. Like, let's see what happens with them. We'll see if this works out right. You don't extend your cavalry like that. You send infantry in.
Yeah.
You gradually push forward to gain every foot of ground until the fight starts, and then you look for the right opening and then send your cavalry in. I knew at that scene that these idiots writing this shit knew nothing about tactics at all. Like, I'm a Thrawn fan from the EU, not this Disney version that's very shallow and very just stereotypical, I'm evil guy. I'm a big Thrawn fan from the EU because the Heir to the Empire trilogy, because the tactics were exhibited in the story. They didn't just say he's a genius tactician. They showed us.
Well, the Chiss have enhanced and they have vastly superior intelligence. So he is while everybody else is playing checkers, he's playing chess. I mean, that's basically the way Thrawn. And I haven't read the books, but I do watch a lot of EU videos like Eckhart's Ladder I haven't read the books, dude. I have not read. I have the one EU book I have is sitting right over here. It's Tales from Jabba's Palace. But
Well,
no,
that one's okay, but Heir to the Empire,
that's
dude.
the Zahn books. Everybody's told me that is absolutely great.
Let me give you a taste.
I need to
Let
read
me give you a taste, okay? This is what's beautiful. Like, and by the way, since then, Zahn has said, "Oh, I thought that I thought it was a good idea at the time, but it sucks now." I don't know why he did that, but it was still a great idea. What he said, well, in the book, part of what makes Thrawn put together his assault or his his takeover of a planet is he studies their art and culture to figure out their fears and their personality as a people, so that then he can psychologically manipulate them. This is the art of war being used the way it's supposed to be. It's the art of fighting without fighting. If you can avoid the fight and do it psychologically, that is always the way to go. This was played out in the story perfectly. I have no idea why Thrawn is now backpedaling and ashamed of, or sorry, Zahn is ashamed of writing that element into Thrawn. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's still brilliant to this day. It still applies. There are real world leaders, generals and tacticians from our real history who have done the same exact thing to great effect. So that's what makes Thrawn great. Now imagine this. Do you know, I know you know who Admiral Akbar is, but do you know who Bel Garm Iblis is?
I don't.
He's another great tactician in the EU's New Republic, a great general, much like Akbar. Those two are about on the same level, and they're considered two of the greatest tacticians. It took both of them working together on tactics to defeat Thrawn's tactics. If that gives you an idea how it plays out. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you have to read this, man. If you love Star Wars, and I know you do, you have to read this, and you'll understand why I'm going to go off here in a little bit when we talk about the Mandalorian and Disney Star Wars, because it doesn't hold a candle to this stuff.
Oh, we lost Tony. He'll be back. He may have to drop out for a minute. No, I know, and that's like I said, Eckhart's Ladder has talked about Thrawn like a lot, and that's what kind of made me wonder. And then I never watched Rebels. I watched. I'm in the middle of it didn't really entice me too much. And I'm not an Ahsoka Tano fan.
Me neither
at all. I thought now in the show, I thought Rosario Dawson, as far as aesthetics go, she played it. She played it well. She looked the part. Like, I'm not going to complain about the tendrils or what. I don't know that. I can't remember the technical name. Like I said, I'm not an Ahsoka, genius or expert. I never really, she's kind of annoying in the earlier seasons of Clone Wars. To me. And she's getting a little bit better. Like, I'm in season 5 now. But I haven't, like I said, I'm not all the way through it yet. And I'm probably not going to watch Rebels unless my kid wants to watch it. Then I'll check it out with him. But yeah, I thought Rosario Dawson was good in the show. I didn't really, like I said, like the character to me, I could take her or leave her. I'm not either way. It's like whatever. But yeah, I was really like, when they mentioned Thrawn in the show, that's what I was kind of getting to. I was like, oh, okay. So they're going to do this in the spinoff because they're going to spin her show off, and it's like, all right, so they're going to bring Thrawn. Now I'm like, my whole thing is like, when are we going to get the Yuzan Vong? I do know about the Vong. I'm like, when are we going to get the Yuzan Vong, dude?
Yeah, man.
But the thing is, do you really want Disney to try to translate the Yuzan Vong? And that's the problem with the whole, because Yuzan Vong would be freaking great. It would be awesome to see that. I mean, you're talking like world ships, dude. Like those organic, everything, all their weaponry is organic. That's such a kick-ass concept. And that's a dark fucking storyline because like Chewbacca dies during that. Like that's like Chewie off.
They brought in my favorite author to kill Chewie. And that's Bob Salvatore. Bob is the best at writing endearing characters that you feel for. He is the best at killing off beloved characters in a proper way, because that's the trickiest part that a writer has to go through. Is if you're going to kill off a character that you think that people enjoy, and that's a major part of your story. You have to be very careful how you do it and when you do it. And Salvatore does not fuck that up, not once. The Dark Elf series has been ongoing decades. Okay, something like 25, 26 books. I've been reading them since I was 16 religiously, and he hasn't fucked up a character death yet out of I don't even know how many character deaths and complete changes even to the world. At one point, the story jumps 100 years. The world's a lot different. And that oftentimes is a big risk for a writer to do something like that, because a lot of the things that people like about your story might have to do with the old world that you've just trashed.
Yep.
And in his case, he's just got it. It doesn't matter which world he's writing. It's going to be great. It's funny too. And going back to what you'd asked me earlier, I come up with the concept. Gun Demon was it just happened when I named him. It was one of those names that just happens. The name comes first, and then I build the character around the name. Most of the time I have a character concept, and then I spend months trying to develop that, to develop a name for it that's different and original and fresh. Gunny just happened. I made the character. I thought, I want a shooter character. I like guns. And I want a shooter character that is fast and can dodge and is kind of like Spider-Man, but instead of web slingers, he's got fucking guns.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I like demons a lot. Gun Demon. And it just came to me. That's how that character happened. But one of the other main characters that I have in this universe, his name is Celestion. Celestion took me probably about a better part of 8 or 9 months to come up with finally a name I liked. Because he's my Superman. He fills my Superman role in the world that I was creating. I can't call it my universe now. It's a shared universe with other creators, our universe. But he fills that role, but he doesn't look anything like a caped crusader type. Doesn't have a cape, doesn't have tights. He's an armored character. Okay. And a little bit about him is he was originally known on Earth as Perseus, son of Zeus. And he's a half seraphim. Zeus is Zeus and Hera and some of these other so-called Greek gods. These are actually of the seraphim species from planet Heaven. And they're millions of years more physically evolved as well as technologically evolved. So they come here and they look like gods, and the powers that they wield appear to be supernatural. And all of this actually started with a movie I was going around pitching for years called Archivist. And it's about a techno mage, essentially, that in the story, these techno mages, the archivists, are where the mythology of sorcerers and wizards originated in that earth. And the log line was, there's a word for technology that is not understood. That word is magic. So when I came around to Gun Demon, I wanted a fun character. Archivist is fun. He's very fun. There's a lot of humor involved. He has this AI unit that only he can see as a holographic emotive computer interface. His name is Heki, Heci, holographic emotive computer interface. It operates the nanites within Archivist's body, which gives him these powers to be able to channel energy, fly, create an energy shield to protect himself and others. He's a wizard.
Okay. All right.
And it all comes from these advanced alien nanites. And when I got around to Gunny, I'm like, well, I'm using mythology, so I'm going to go with an alien this time. I'm going to make devils and demons aliens.
Yeah.
And instead of supernatural, I don't believe in the supernatural. I don't disbelieve, but I don't believe. I'm agnostic. I'm not going to tell people their God doesn't exist, but I'm also not going to tell them it does or agree that it does. I want to see something. So we don't want theism to be an issue in this, even though we're touching on some religious themes, such as Christianity. It's neither atheist or theist in approach. Everybody can have fun in this book. There's no politics in our universe, like current day pseudo politics. There's no COVID bullshit going on or masks.
That's one thing. I have to interrupt here for a second. And Tony, I'm sure you've noticed this too in watching like TV shows now, network TV, how they're incorporating like the COVID into. I'm like, you're seeing like I'm watching NCIS the other night with my wife, and you're seeing them. They're wearing. I'm like, dude,
so lame.
in 10, 20 years, we're going to look back at this period of entertainment and be like, what the fuck were we doing? Like, did we really need to include this in like TV shows?
Yep.
You know, think about this. Look at the parents who were parents in the 70s, right? With the guys that had the big burly beards. This is before the beard thing happened. The fad came back, 10 years ago or so. But during the 80s, we made fun of the whole 70s look. We looked back at people looked back at their parents and said, oh, that's cringy. Look at the bell bottoms, look at the tie-dye. Now, think about the kids and grandkids. You say 20 years from now, they're going to look back at their grandparents and their parents' profile pictures with these slave masks on.
Yep.
And they're going to go, wow, my family were conformists.
I know.
They helped global terrorists take over the planet. I'm sorry to get political. That's not actually political. That's more like Earth survival, really. But I'm sorry to bring up such a dark thing. This is more of a light, entertainment show. But I feel very strongly about that. I get in a lot of shit in social media because I'm not going to comply. I refuse. Nobody steps on my inalienable rights. Those are my enemies who do so, and everybody should follow that guideline.
Yeah,
I believe.
I do too. I thought Curtis, I hate the mask in the shows. I know, man. That's it. It's escapism. We're watching TV to get away from this shit. Like,
yes,
I don't want to deal like, oh God, I watched Prodigal Son. I watched review Prodigal Son. I loved season 1. Tom Paine from The Walking Dead. He played Jesus on there. He plays Malcolm Bright. He's a profiler. Works with a high crimes unit in New York. It's got Lou Diamond Phillips in it. It's a pretty organically diverse cast. Like Lou Diamond Phillips, obviously you have Native American. You have Tom Paine as the white guy. Then you have 2 black detectives. I think one of them might be. I mean, both of them look like they're either like Afro Latino, kind of, or some sort of mixed ethnicity. But there's representation on the show. But you didn't really think about it until 2 episodes. Well, the first episode you got. They're going to help Tom Paine's character because he's being assaulted in his apartment, and the girl gets there first. She radios back to the guy, and he's like, I'm on my way. He's outside the building. 3 uniformed officers show up. They're holding him at gunpoint. He's like, I'm a cop. One of them runs up, takes his nightstick, presses him against a wall, is choking him out, and he's like, just stop fighting, boy. I'm like, and before that, it had not touched on this shit like really at all. It was pretty, and because the thing that got me was it's a Berlanti show. I was like, motherfucker, you had to do it. You couldn't help yourself. And now it's, he
doesn't have a choice.
No.
These people don't have a choice. The guys upstairs at the top of the studio, they'll come in, you'll have a good story, you'll have all this cool stuff that people actually want, and then the guys at the studio heads go, oh, well, there's not enough of this. There's not enough of that. You got to put that in there. You got to make the men weak and cowardly and stupid. The women are awesome. Blah, 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 blah. And then it's dead. It's been destroyed. It doesn't work. Now, I'll tell you something. Diversity is great.
Yeah.
It's always been great. We all know this. All of us nerds, us sci-fi, comic book nerds, fantasy nerds, we always wanted diversity. What is an adventuring party in Middle Earth without a dwarf and an elf, and then you got a female that does stuff. You got a burly, big, like Boromir type of dude, Rohirrim. You got to have that diversity, and it's always been there. And I'll tell you, I don't see people covering this, but this is why Hollywood pushes all of this in virtue signals. It's because they're the racists and they're the real sexists, and they are projecting on us when we call them out on their bullshit. That's exactly what it is. They now do it preemptively. They just come right out and go, oh, everybody hates this new show because it's got a woman.
Yep.
And they don't even wait for our response. So they already know what, so no, it's them. They are the racists. They are the sexists. Look at how they treat black men in Hollywood in these movies. Okay.
Oh.
Look at Finn. Finn's a laughing stock.
Yep.
Not that the character was ever going to be good, because they don't have good writers there at Lucasfilm anymore. But that's not how. I mean, I don't care who it is. That's like, they pushed this guy as here's our black guy, here's our token black guy, and then they made him into an idiot, just like they do all of the other black male characters.
Well,
And
I mean, you had JJ had, it's like for once in his life he had something like set up that was going to be good, and then Ryan came along, was like, yeah, fuck this, he's going to be an idiot, he's going to wear a suit and he's going to be squirting stuff out. Yeah, it's like, we'll pair him with the potato sack girl.
I hear that a lot, that JJ had something set up as a developer that reverse engineered The Force Awakens. He had jack shit set up. What he did, what he spent his time on, was the shallow elements of A New Hope that people liked. Just the shallow elements. And he didn't even cover those well. There's not even really a memorable alien creature. Every Star Wars movie has at least one, like the Wampa or the Rancor or something. He had those stupid squid things.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't even feel like Star Wars. 2 months later,
the Rathtars.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yep.
2 months after that, I was telling people in a group, I'm like, we didn't even have a cool Star Wars monster in The Force Awakens. And, yeah, we did. We had them squid things. I was like,
sucked.
They were so forgettable.
It was a big vagina with teeth. I mean, excuse me for saying, but that's basically what it looked like.
Yeah, he had jack shit.
No, there was nothing there.
JJ always wings it. Since the very first thing he's done, which was Lost. I don't know if you know this, but he was given Lost something like 2 to 3 weeks or so before it was supposed to air. They were like, hey, JJ, just whip us up something. By the way, I call him Jar Jar.
Oh, yeah, he's Jar Jar Abrams. Lost is actually one of my favorite shows. I fucking love this. Oh, God, yeah. If you have, like, the channel, if you look at the little icon up in my corner there, that's the Dharma Initiative looking like all my intro and outro stuff is all like, that Nerdy Blurb did is all like based around that. It's one of my favorite shows. I know, like I said, it's got faults, man. I'm rewatching it right now for like probably the fourth time. I haven't watched it as much as Seinfeld. Seinfeld I've seen through like 20 times over the entire series, except the finale. I never watched that, because if you don't watch the finale, does it ever really end?
Well, I think some Supernatural fans might wish that they didn't watch that finale.
Oh God! And that guy from, was it Jared Padalecki that was on there? He's fucking Walker now. They started a new Walker Texas Ranger show on the CW. I didn't watch it. I was like, should I? So I read a few reviews of it, and I'm like, I almost went at this girl on Twitter over it because she was calling Chuck Norris, his character, was racist, and I'm like, Chuck Norris' character wasn't fucking racist. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, his partner was a black dude, and they were like, he would have taken a bullet for him. Like, he helped everybody. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
everybody's a racist.
I was like, Chuck Norris? Like, really? Chuck Norris? Like,
the eyes of the Rangers are upon you.
He does. They
cringe.
They gave him a I don't know if it's a Ram, but he's got a red truck, they said. I was like, so they're just going for like these cheap little things, like, look over here, it's just like this, remember? Oh God.
I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. Like, Chuck Norris was a legend.
I know
that role. Like,
that's what they do now, Tony.
Give it to Jackie Chan or something, like that would make sense.
They give it to family. This guy's related to a studio head or in close to their circle. That's what they do now. They don't go. It's not merit.
No,
it's not merit. Look at Brie Larson. No talent at all.
She got an Oscar for Room because she played a victim. That's what it was. She played a sexual assault victim. She gets an Oscar.
Yeah, that was all. That was the director.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can play victim real well.
Yeah, well, she's been doing it for 2 years since Cat Pan Mediocre came out.
Yeah,
and made quote unquote $1 billion.
I was looking forward to that. Like, it was on the slate for a while, and then I remember like a few months before the hype for Captain Marvel started, she made that speech where she was talking about 40-year-old white men. I'm like, man, I was looking forward to your movie for like a year and a half, and you got to fucking.
Because I'll tell you.
Well, I was I was just going to say, at that moment in time, the MCU wasn't woke when everything else was going woke. So it just, yeah. She made that speech. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, that was the sign that
Yeah.
the MCU was dying at that point.
Yeah.
I bet Ethan thanks her very much, Ethan Van Sciver, because that video that he did, the hilarious video he did covering her, when she came out and like, oh, you're a freaking white man, you fucking buy my shit. Ethan got thousands and thousands of subs off that hilarious video.
Yeah.
And so Bree's been good for some of us, like she gives people content. She's boring now, though.
He pointed out her racketeering scheme, how she was trying to get people to donate to GoFundMe like it was a charity for little girls. And it's like, no, that money goes to tickets, which in turn goes into your pocket.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they did so much stuff with that movie. It's unreal. I've never seen. She's related to someone important. There's no doubt, because she is the queen that is not to be, ridiculed or anything. And she gets anything she wants. She gets Oh, my little girl wants Star Wars. You get Star Wars.
Well, they've been grooming her to be a performer since she was a little girl. Her parents, she grew up rich and insulated, and she wasn't wanting for anything, and then she just turns around and just does this. There she is. There's our queen.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or...
She met Feige on Epstein Island in '98.
I love when she goes, is that like an attack or something?
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Personal attack? I'm trying to make it one. Can you work with me here so it can be one, please?
Yeah, that's it. I really need my victim status back.
I'm glad you brought up the entitlement and the lack of life experience, because that's what I see in Hollywood writing and in the mainstream comics, is these little entitled soy boys, little soy-based life forms, and these little bratty girls that won't mature mentally, to adulthood. They have no life experience. A writer has to have life experience. I've starved. I've almost died literally almost died from malnutrition before, out there homeless in strange cities looking for opportunities, working my ass off. I would be out there opening a Family Dollar as a manager, 8 in the morning, whatever, and close out that store in the afternoon, walk an hour in fucking literally cardboard shoes that were like $3 shoes at Family Dollar because I couldn't afford a real pair. Yeah. And I would walk across the city to the other Family Dollar and then work another entire shift and close that place out. Then when I would get off work, I would limp downtown. This was in Sarasota, Florida. I'd limp downtown. I'd go to parties with all these professionals and all these creatives and these well-off people who fund creative stuff. And I would struggle to have personality because I was so tired, so beat up and starving. I would sit there starving, watching people eat steaks and stuff sometimes and just act like everything's cool. I went through years of this hell to gain the network that I've got and to learn, go through my trial by fire. I see these little punks coming straight out of Hollywood from rich families, and they're like, I'm a writer. I'm going to write this thesis on human suffering. The motherfucker has never suffered. A paper cut is a fucking form of suffering to these idiots, or being like fucked with online is what they consider suffering. They can't write suffering. They can't write a character that is going through a trial by fire.
Was it they gave JJ's kid a Spider-Man book? I laughed. I actually, when I bought a Marvel 3-pack because it had there was a symbiote Spider-Man. When I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna buy this, and shoved in the middle of it was Abrams' kid's Spider-Man book. I was like, oh damn it. I'm like, so I got one of those, and then in another one I got a oh shit, it was Daniel Kibblesmith wrote a Loki book.
Oh,
I haven't
Kibblesmith.
I haven't had the heart to read it yet. I've had it for like 6 months and I haven't read it. I'm like, I had a copy of the new Woke Warriors reserved at my comic shop, but they kept pushing it back, and then the fucking shop closed down, of course. After 11 years they shut down. But yeah, man, I was all like, because when I told the guys like I want to reserve a copy of that, He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I want to copy that for I was like, I'm going to review that on my YouTube channel. I was like, I did one video on that bitch. And I got a gang of views for my channel. I'm like, I'll review the shit out of that.
Fucking Kibblesmith, dude.
He's afraid of his own shadow.
You only have to say his name, and I lose it. Just like this. Every time somebody says his name, the image of him pops in my head where he's so proud. He's like, and this is my character, Safe Space. You there? And you know, he's so proud, man. I did use a somewhat. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is kind of the other side. Gun Demon doesn't have SJW or anti-SJW stuff like overtly, but I have 3 characters that Gunny's going to fight at one point, and they're kind of throwaway guys, but they're cool designs. Paul Roper's designed them for me, and they're based on sort of the Judge Dredd, Mean Machine Angel kind of style of cyborg. One is called Butthurt, and he has cybernetic legs. The other one is called Banhammer, and he has a hammer arm. It's actually an arm that transforms into this hammer, and they are kept stable, mentally stable, so that they can fulfill their missions by a telepath named Admin. And you know, I'm not doing it so much on the nose. The names are kind of on the nose. Some people are going to see that and get it, but there's no dialogue in there that's like, you know, you are to be banned, you know, or something like that, or you offended me. It's none of that stuff. In fact, the way I've written it, I think SJWs could also look at it and be like, yeah, that's like those bad right wingers that booted me out of their group, and then the right wing can do the same thing. You know, what Daniel did was he took a side of the fence on that argument there with those names and the way and the whole. Oh, did you see his fucking dating thing that he was on?
He was on $1 Million Matchmaker.
Yeah,
he like almost threw up when he had to kiss that woman, didn't he? I mean,
my
it was
God.
like it was the worst thing I'd ever. And he's married.
Wow,
the dude is married.
He's never touched his wife's vagina. I'm fucking calling it right now. They are not going to procreate, guys.
Oh God, I hope not. I was laughing.
Me too.
He was making some comments about trying to be tough. He's like, what if I came down? I was talking about going to the police station. What if I come down to the police station with my hands taped and a baseball bat tapping my palm? I'd be like, I think you were getting ready to like fist yourself or something. I don't know, man. Like, he was like, he's such just like, you're such a beta. You're such just a little beta male, dude. Like, you're soft as Charmin. I mean,
on my stream, the Alpha Male Champion show that I'm starting very soon, I'm going to do a Kibblesmith episode for sure, because I'm going to call out the betas out there. I mean, it's okay to be a beta male, right? That's basically a follower. You look around, you're like, that guy knows what's going on. I'm going to support him. That's fine. Don't mistake when I make fun of people for being betas. It's the guys that think that they're alphas and they act like alphas. And they talk like alphas, and everybody's going, dude, sit down. Down. My sister beat you up last week. You know, those are the real. That's what I say when I say derogatorily. I say, is that even a word, by the way? When I say beta like that, derogatory, that's what I'm talking about. Kibblesmiths. He thinks he's fucking alpha as hell.
Oh yeah, that guy's a fucking joke, dude. He is. He's a joke. But so what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll come right back, and we're going to talk a little bit of Mandalorian and probably argue about it. So we'll be right back after this.
Some of your critics would say, you know, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that, you know, because it's negative and you're being negative.
His life, highs and lows.
It's so interesting because you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit.
Hey,
with that comment.
Come on.
No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit.
You know, we're doing live TV.
Hey, I don't care. What are you going to do about it?
That
Alpha Male Champion.
That is an alpha right there. He's Mike Tyson's like, fuck you. What are you gonna do about it? He's based as fuck. I love that.
Me too. Tyson is the dude. In fact, I don't watch boxing regularly, but anything to do with Tyson, I'm there.
Yeah.
He is. He's fucking awesome. Kibble Smith is the most beta of all the beta. I've pissed out more Alvin and his whole family.
True.
Nano Reaper ain't fucking around, dude. I gotta go back up and highlight one of his comments here. Here we go, right here. I've been shot 5 times, stabbed 4, had 3. Oh, damn. Detonated near me. Had a chopper shot off from under me. Worked 100 hours a week in the oil fields. Please, Hollywood, tell me about something. Yeah, see. Yeah,
bro.
That's like hardcore, like, and you're still here. You know, that is fucking hardcore.
Fucking alpha male champion right there.
Yeah. Hail fucking Nano Reaper, man. Sleep guy, I have to run. Have to turn. Alan tries the internet. All right, man. We'll see you. Sleep guy and Millennial Me, Fallon, are going to be on February 5th. So next week is Vinny Tartamella on Friday night. Vinny Art will be on with us.
Boy.
Yeah, I met him over on Rogue. He was on the Humpty Dump over on Sporking News with us over there one Wednesday night. So yes, dude, I said I need to have you on. So. And I wanted, he's got a project to us like your Friday night. Perfect night for that. So, yeah, he'll be on here next week. Like I said, then Millennial Me, Fallon, and the Millennial and the Boomer will be on. So that'll be fun. Hey, what's up, JM2021? Welcome, sir. Says, hail the Fandom Menace. Hail the fucking Fandom Menace, bro. Hail the Fandom Menace. I have to, before we get into speaking, because this is a good segue into Star Wars. So I joined a new Star Wars group on Facebook, and this is kind of funny. I told Tony about this a couple weeks ago. A couple of years ago, I got kicked out of Star Wars group because I basically planted my flag and said, fuck The Last Jedi. That movie fucking sucks. Because everybody was like, it's so good. I'm like, no, this movie fucking
You just have to watch it twice.
Yeah, I'm like, bitch, I watched
10 times.
I watched it like 4 times just to see. I'm like, okay, like I'm catching everything. I'm seeing if there is any nuance. I'm like, I'm catching this shit. I'm looking for everything. I found a fucking hollow. Like Tony, you said, it's a beautiful. It's the cinematography is beautiful, but it's lacking of any substance. There's nothing there.
When you have an unlimited supply of resources, it's hard not to make a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah,
exactly.
Where it counts, it's bankrupt.
Yeah. Oh, and that's it. So I got kicked out of this. It's called Star Wars Docking Bay 94. One of the fucking admins was like, dude, they were SJ. They were. And I don't throw that term around lightly because if everything is, then nothing is. It's like saying everything is woke. If everything is woke, then nothing is woke. That's just the way things are. So we have to be selective. We use that. And Sal and Tony and I have talked about this ad nauseum, the Fandom Menace dog whistle. It's like, just because you see a person of color or a woman in a role doesn't necessarily mean it's woke. Mm-hmm. And I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just saying it overall because this happens, because our movement does have actual fucking racists and actual misogynists that fucking attach themselves and use our banner and drag us all down with that. So we really have to be conscious when we're making our arguments about these things to be clear with our points and not just, ad hominem attacks and things of the like, because that makes us all look bad and look like the people that glom onto our movement under false pretenses and not actually caring about what we stand for, which is quality entertainment, not being patronized and shit on by companies who we pay money to entertain us. Basically, actors are organ grinder monkeys. They sit there and they bang their little fucking cymbals and they read their cue cards to us. That's what we need you to do. I don't need you to tell me I'm a fucking misogynist because I didn't like your movie, Elizabeth Banks. I didn't like your movie because your movie was objectively bad. You wrote, produced, directed it, and starred in it. It was a vanity project by an aging actress, Charlie's Angels, for example. Shit, okay? And then you come out and say, men are misogynists. They don't watch my movie. I was one of 5 people in the theater opening night. 4 out of 5 were men. And it's like, these are the kind of people that want to call us shitty for not liking fucking Star Wars. So I get kicked out of this fucking group. 2 years later, the guy that runs it he's a doctor. He fucking messages me the other day out of the blue. Hey man, really sorry about what happened. Do you want to come back to the group? He goes, I purged all the admins because our group got infected with SJWs. You were always cool. I never liked the way things got left off. I want to have you back. I'm like, oh, okay. So I joined the group. So I joined this other group today just as a kind of an experiment. And it's on my 4th account on Facebook. So I'm like, whatever. It's called the Non-Toxic Star Wars Fans Group. And the only people who are deemed toxic basically are those that aren't sycophants in this group. And I was real neutral at first, and now I'm starting to kind of be like, I'm starting to show my hand a little bit and be like, yeah, I don't like the sequel trilogy fucking at all. Solo is fucking garbage. Rogue One has a few moments here and there, but for the most part, Rogue One sucks. I love the Vader scene at the end, which was added in post-production because it mirrored what they just did with Luke on Mando. And there's things, like I said, you got the sequel trilogy, which is just objectively just trash. Now which brings us to the Mandalorian, which I enjoy. I acknowledge it's got faults. Absolutely. It still falls under the Disney umbrella. But I think you've got 2 guys that are basically running this show, which is Favreau and Filoni to a much lesser extent. Favreau, I believe, cares about Star Wars. And he doesn't have to answer to Kennedy. Supposedly goes right to Iger. Kennedy's a piece of shit. She's talentless, and all she cares about is identity politics, which I haven't really seen any in this show yet because there has been a lot of diversity from the very start, and it just seems to flow organically to me in the show.
Yeah, see, my biggest problem with the Mando is, for starters, that's not a Mandalorian. It's just a guy in Beskar armor. It's a gunslinger in Beskar armor, and that's it. There is nothing of a Mandalorian in that character. This is just the beginning of my problems with it, okay? Mandos are a very special type of character in the Star Wars universe to us old school, especially EU fans. They have a lot of rich lore. In fact, at one point, they ruled the galaxy with an iron fist that made the Empire look like Boy Scouts. And so now, you look at Empire Strikes Back, look at Return of the Jedi. Anytime Boba Fett's around, people are like, Mandalorian or Fett, where?
Yeah.
That's the kind of presence a Mando has. When they walk into a place, people are worried. Is he here for me? You know what the audience is going to feel like now after watching this fucking show? They're going to see a Mando walk into a scene and they're going, a Mando's here to save us. It's okay, guys. That's not what a Mando is, man. They tried a heroic Mando in the comic books in the 80s. I have that comic book still. It was weak. It was not cool. Fans, a lot of fans didn't like it. They're like, no, Mandos are hardcore. They're not, and that whole bit of story was just tossed out. It was one of those experiments that failed early in the EU. And that's my beginning problem. My biggest problem is there's no fucking story to this goddamn show. These guys don't know what they're doing. They're writing it episode by episode. I can tell they're just going by the seat of their pants. They're desperate to save their version of the franchise. And what's happening is they're throwing out all the member berries and cheap fan service they can. Hey, kids, you remember hearing about crate dragons? Well, now we got a whole bunch of people that live in a village around crate dragons. Hey, kids, you remember Yoda? Well, we got a baby one now. Hey, kids. There's no story. It's like video game cutscenes strung together.
That's like what's up, Tony?
I have said, like, when everyone was praising Ahsoka's scene, I had said she had no original dialogue through most of her. It was just copy and pasted from Obi-Wan and Yoda. Like, there was no original, like, I've only seen it once. I have to go back and watch, but when I was watching it, I'm like, this doesn't even sound like Ahsoka speaking. This is copy and pasted lines from Revenge of the Sith and either Empire or Return of the Jedi. And it was just bad. And that's a lot of the show. I've noticed they'll have little segue scenes in between major scenes, like in one of the episodes, they were on Tatooine, and this guy standing there looked just like Qui-Gon Jinn. His hair was styled, the same kind of robes, but it wasn't Qui-Gon, and he's there with a little 9-year-old girl who would look like Padme in Anakin's age in Phantom Menace. I mean, just little things like that they do to fuck with your subconscious and try to make you like correlate it to something you do like.
It's shallow. It's very shallow.
Yeah.
I personally feel it's shameful. This is where I piss off a lot of Fandom Menace people. I've been Fandom Menace for years, and now I'm kind of like anti-Fandom Menace in a way, the way people are treating me. A lot of the Fandom Menace people, because of what I'm saying about the Mando, they're all coming at me with stuff like I made fun of Luke's entrance in the Mandalorian. If you're gonna bring in fucking Luke goddamn Skywalker like we've been wanting to see, why doesn't he have a fucking series? Why are you gonna bring him in on this no name characters series and not even give like a proper they're just hanging out, and then all of a sudden, oh, there's an X-wing fighter that just flew in, and then here comes Luke, and he just ignites his saber, and everybody Pavlonian, is flipping out all Pavlonian. Oh, it's the real Luke we wanted. Well, guess what, Fandom Menace people? You have forgotten the last several fucking years. They are going to ruin Luke. You're going to sit there and you're going to beg for more Luke. And what's going to happen is you're giving these people probably 5 or 6 more years of torturing us and destroying our favorite characters. If we fucking stand right now and say this is not fucking acceptable, we want real Star Wars, they're going to have to really take it seriously and produce real Star Wars, or they're going to have to sell to somebody who may. And that's why I call myself Unstoppable Fandom Menace, because I'm not going to stop until the EU is reinstated. At least the best content from the EU is put into fucking movies and all this content, because these people at Disney don't know how to develop Star Wars characters, creatures, worlds, anything. And I'll tell you this is on the business end of it. What you're seeing in The Mandalorian, what everybody's cheering, is the destruction of Lucas's Star Wars, because some of the best stories ever written and some of the best characters and content in that universe exists during this time that The Mandalorian is taking place. And this replaces that fucking universe. So we're never going to see, any of the really great stuff that right now I'm thinking about some of the scenes in my head from the EU novels. I've got, look at this, hair standing up on my arms. I've got goosebumps. Okay. That's what the EU does to people. What does The Mandalorian do? You go, ooh, for a minute. And then you got to wait for the next spectacle to give you another little member berry to be excited about for a minute. If it's done right, you're going to be excited for decades afterwards. And these people are half-assing the most important modern mythology in existence. So I'm not stopping. I'm unstoppable in that mindset. And hate me or not for it, guys out there, Fandom Menace people out there, but I am Fandom Menace. I'm not leaving. I've been Fandom Menace since it started, and I'm not fucking leaving. And you're going to listen to me bitch about, all of this shit, or you're going to block me. And that's just how it is. You're not going to butt hurt me. People are trying to insult me on Twitter and butt hurt me. I've almost died multiple times. You think some fucking words from some butthurt fake fan is going to really upset me? Bring it. I don't care. I'm going to monetize your asses on my Alpha Male Champion show. Fucking, stand up for something. We almost won, guys. We literally fucking almost won. The door to victory was open. Solo lost money. Okay.
Fuck yeah. They had an 80% shot, and then she fired fucking Lord Miller and brought Opie in because he just toed the company line. He was a yes man. And then they, like that movie, I've never watched a Star Wars movie and been fucking bored. Like that come out, I remember, because like that was like a 1-2 punch. Because like I said, I didn't know how bad The Last Jedi was going to be. I went, one of my coworkers bought tickets. Oh, come on. All right, I'll go. So we go watch it. And then, like I said, 5 minutes in the movie, I'm sitting there going, motherfucker, like, what, why are they doing Mama Joe? What? Like, yeah. And it just got progressively worse. Like I had a tick in my eye by the end of the movie. I just like sitting, like twitching and shit. I mean, it was fucking bad. And then like Solo comes out, and that was December. Solo comes out in May, and I didn't see that for like, I think 3 or 4 months after it came out. I didn't watch it. I knew I read, the spoilers. I watched all the videos. I was like, and then I watched it. I was like, holy shit, dude, I was almost falling asleep. I'm like, you have an underground vampire worm that lives in a glass house? Like, what that Lady Proxima? I'm like, Han is named Han Solo by a fucking random imperial like guy. He's like, you don't have any people, your name's Solo. Like, what the
Chewie.
fuck?
They made Chewie a ravenous beast.
Yep.
Chewie is the nicest character in that whole universe, the most loyal, nicest, harmless. Unless you fuck with him, he's absolutely harmless. He's not going to hurt anybody unless you fuck with him or he's hunting. And they made him into, or your pork. I hated that too, honestly. He should have ate those motherfuckers. That's the bottom line. He's a hunter, man. The fucking Wookiees are hunters, dude.
That's another thing we're missing out on with the EU. Kashyyyk is such a badass planet, and the Wookiees are so smart. Like they put just that little itty bit in Revenge of the Sith, which was dope as hell. Like that's one of my favorite battle scenes in that movie. That is my third favorite Star Wars movie.
I love it.
It goes, Empire Strikes Back, which is like my favorite movie like of all time. Anyway,
me too.
Then A New Hope, and then Revenge of the Sith is number 3 on there, man. And I love anything with the clones though, man. That is that shit. Like even Attack of the Clones, as bad as it was, I still found stuff in there that I like when I love the Camino scenes. To me, like, and when they went there in Clone Wars, I thought that was really cool too. Tony, you want to say something, bro?
I was just gonna say, I can't believe. I mean, speaking of like episode 3, it just made me think. Like, if you would have told me in 2015, like the night I was gonna go opening night for The Force Awakens, that I would just never see the end of this trilogy, I would never see episode 9, I wouldn't fucking believe you.
Yeah.
There was a time when I thought Revenge of the Sith was going to be the last Star Wars movie I saw in the theater, and it was a great movie. Like that whole scene on Kashyyyk is just one of my favorite parts of that movie as well. Seeing Yoda and Chewbacca interact and just
I had one complaint. We wanted to see Darth Vader in the suit hunting Jedi.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that. But it didn't ruin the prequels, in my opinion. They're still Star Wars movies. They're still good Star Wars. But we wanted that, man, really bad.
Yeah, I get like that Rogue One ending, but with Jedi maybe instead of a
bunch of fleet troopers.
Yes. Yes. And I actually wrote, I developed and wrote over several years my own Star Wars story. If I make enough money off of what we're doing with Brain Cage and Gun Demon, then I'm going to make this into a web series. And I'm hoping if I get to that point, Disney doesn't own Star Wars anymore, so we can have fan films again, because they have fucked the entire Star Wars fan film community. You can't really have those anymore. They monetize your shit. They steal it and monetize it. And they don't even promote you. They don't. I don't even think they give you the sound effects and the visual effects packs like Lucas did. You remember how Lucas loved the fan films? He encouraged it. He gave us all the resources that we needed to create something that looks Star Wars. Now, mind you, almost all fan films are ass, and they don't feel Star Wars. Like one of the better ones people rave about is that Obi-Wan little short.
Never
movie.
Seen it. I like Birth of a Monster. Have you ever seen that one?
I haven't seen that one.
Fuck, that one is so good. That one is so good. It's like 23 minutes long. There's that one, and what's a channel I know named Vader Reviews is doing he's working on one right now called Fallen Jedi. That dude puts like his heart and soul into everything. I streamed with him. He has studied James Earl Jones's just speaking patterns to get the cadence down. He's got the whole modulator thing. He sounds fucking excellent, dude. And he did that on a stream one night for like 2 hours, I think. It was
damn.
Oh yeah, man. It was solid, And as soon as we ended the stream, we weren't live, he went back and used it. It's so funny. He sounds so different. It's hilarious. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, he does the voice like perfect, man. So there's like Like I said, there's people like that. Yeah, but I've seen some like there's one where the Ewoks were eating the fucking stormtroopers. You see that one?
Yeah, I think I did see. This is my problem with the fan films, though, is they almost always go for comedy. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of Troops. Troops is funny.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, that's all anybody's doing. And the thing is Obi-Wan, I don't know if you'll like it or not. I didn't. There's good cinematography and stuff, but what I don't like about it is, once again, this is another fan film where they're not delivering that Star Wars feel. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. It feels like a TV series that's a drama.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because Obi-Wan's all emotional. Like, the first few minutes of it is just him. And it's like, if I recall, he's got narration and he's all bummed out about everything and he's sad and all this stuff. That's not what anybody wants to see. If I was to do a short film based around Obi-Wan, I would set it in the Tatooine cantina, and there would be the old hermit walks in, that old hermit, and some of these guys would be talking about him, and then there would be something that goes down, and then, he uses the Force and beats them and does this shit, that's what we want to see from Obi-Wan. We want to see him whoop ass and then walk away. And that's who he is. And, these guys don't get the spirit of these characters. My fan film is called Empire Rising, and it's set in, obviously, the end of the Republic and the beginning of the Empire. And what I did was I added in the backdrop of the cleanup that the Empire's doing across the galaxy. You've got these Republic remnant forces, and the story starts with a space battle outside of the orbit of Alderaan. Because Vader is hunting a Jedi named Master Kodo San on the to Alderaan, where he's being hidden, and Vader's got the 501st Clone Troopers as his personal guard. And you're starting to see humans being recruited into stormtroopers. Yeah. You're seeing Vader's not the main deal in the story, but he plays an actual factor. I didn't just stick him in like they did in Rogue One and all this bullshit where force him in for clout. He actually has story in it, but Vader doesn't just go after everybody. He only goes after the masters.
Yep.
He's the big fish. So he sends, I've got a bounty hunter named Tenzo. And a lot of my content actually in this comes from the game Star Wars Galaxies. If you guys ever played that back in the day, I actually use some of the weaponry and some of the armor and such, like the composite armor is what Tenzo wears. And he's got the scatter pistol from, that shoots acid. I've got a Trandoshan Terras Kasi Master as my Chewbacca style sidekick. And, and he's a badass. My main guy's name is Calderon, who's a pilot in an elite Republic squadron. And it turns out he's force sensitive. And then by trying to go and save Master Kodo San, Kodo starts training him and all this. And there's a lot of story to it. I spent years developing it, but it's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Yep. So if I get to make enough money, I'm going to make this fucker. I don't care. Obviously, I can't make money from it. Yeah. I'm going to do it because I want it. I want to see it.
It's a passion project, man. That's it. Daisy Divine says, what do you think about Lucas admitting he knew people didn't want a prequel, but he wants to tell the story he wanted to tell, but was prevented? Wait, are you talking about the wills? Are you talking about the wills of the Force? And the veil of the Force, or whatever that is.
No, the wills were going to be in 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The wills were going to be supposed to be the sequel trilogy, because that's the one that he gave Iger the layout to, the treatments, and then they just fucking basically threw them away. And they're like, and to quote my man, the Critical Drinker, nah, it'll be fine.
Go away now.
Yeah. Why? Don't know.
Fuck you, movie.
Fuck off, film.
Fuck off. I love him.
Oh, I know, dude. He's hilarious. I got my kid says that he's 5. My kid says, I say it so much, he goes, nah, it'll be fine.
I love it.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. He's a little shit. Let's see. Wait. Oh, the midichlorians in the Rise of the Empire was that Lucas first pitched. I didn't mind the midichlorians. Like
Same.
a lot of people get like hell bent about that. It didn't bother me. Nano Reaper's good. Hey, Nano Reaper, thanks for stopping in, brother. Appreciate it, man. Have a great night, and thank you for watching. I appreciate you, man. You're here all the time, dude. Thank you. What Curtis say? Check out Last Battle Stormtrooper fan film. A must see.
I saw that one.
I'll check that one out too. I'll watch that one in the Obi-Wan one. See, so the midichlorians and the Rise of the Empire was at Lucas' first pitch. I like I said, man, the midichlorians to me didn't mind them. I love the Phantom Menace. To be honest with you, I catch a lot of shit for that, but I love that movie because that's like the foundation right there. I mean, as a prequel, as prequels go, I think it was good. I would have liked to seen the Darth Plagueis stuff actually like play out on screen.
Oh yeah.
Because the lore behind Plagueis is very fucking cool.
Did you read the book, Darth Plagueis?
I listened to probably half of the audio book. And it was so good.
I love it. I've read it like 5 times.
It's good though. I know I want to go through and just reread it. But man, that would have been so fucking. Then Sidious's backstory, Palpatine, is fucking cool. You know how he only wants to be called Palpatine because he hates the name Sheev because it was his father's name. His father was a politician. He hated his lack of ambition because he got complacent and just stayed in one spot, and he killed his fucking dad. I mean, it was just, he was evil from the fucking word and overly ambitious and narcissistic and evil from the fucking very start. Yeah. Very from a young age. So
yeah. And Plagueis nurtured that over decades. He saw these things. He saw these things in Sidious and Palpatine, and he was the power behind him. What I love about it, when what really let me down also about the sequels was when they were showing us a little bit of Snoke. I thought, well, that's a weird design for Plagueis, but it's cool that they're bringing Plagueis. That's what I thought first, because I thought, wouldn't it be brilliant if it turns out that the whole Empire thing was Plagueis's plan, and he was basically working Sidious into it because he didn't want to be in the front. Plagueis was never in the forefront, always the shadowy Rothschild type figure.
He was Dick Cheney.
Yeah, well, he's in the front. People see Dick Cheney.
I know.
Not, but they don't necessarily see Rothschilds.
Yeah,
and that's Plagueis. He owned one of the most powerful banking systems in the galaxy and all that. Yeah, I agree with you there, Daisy. I got about 2 minutes into the lava battle. I got pretty burnt out on it.
I had pun intended. I have that. I just got that Lego set actually for Christmas of them battling on the little pods over the lava. I know the CGI is not good, but I appreciate what they were trying to do with the concept, because it is that whole battle sequence is such a kick-ass concept.
Wow, what choreography in some of those parts. Shadowversity covered that really well.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey, what's up, Subhuman 84? How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, there's so much that they could do that could be done. I don't want to say they as in Disney, but there is so much. The Lego movie did it better. Oh, the Lego Star Wars movies are fucking hilarious. Like some of the older ones, they're hilarious. I do. I watch those shits with my son. They're funny. I like the Batman ones the best though, because Will Arnett plays such a good Batman. His voice, his Batman voice is great. But no, man, there's so much they could do with Star Wars that could be done. Like I said, I always wanted to see a Hoth horror film.
God, yes.
Like, say we've talked about this, having like some of the stormtroopers and then some of the rebels, they get left there and they stop fighting. They kind of have to band together because they're getting attacked by wampas, those wampas that were locked in the room in the deleted scene that killed the stormtroopers. Well, it's like they would be like more wampas would make their way in, over time, and they're trying to, they have to band together, try to get off the planet, survive, not freeze to death, eat.
There's a book like that, Pete.
Is there?
But it's not soldiers. It's Luke and some other characters. I believe it's Luke and his son Ben, I think, is in that story. And I don't remember who else, but they go back to Hoth. I forget the exact reason why they go back, and the Wampas are fucking everywhere, and it almost kills them. You got a few Force sensitives here, like trained Jedi involved, and there are so many of the Wampas. They're so powerful. I don't think Rebel soldiers would last 5 minutes with with what they went up against there. So it's a little more like a Jedi mission.
Okay.
But it was really cool. What they did with Luke in the EU, amazing. It was everything we wanted to see Luke do after, the fall of the Empire, and they did it and more. I'm really hardcore about it. I've trained my whole life to be a Star Wars developer, and when I heard Disney was buying it, Disney used to be a standard of quality. Remember the movie The Black Hole and all these other great movies that they made?
Yep. Oh God, yeah, The Black Hole, dude. That's like a classic.
Yes. So when I heard Disney was buying Star Wars and they were going to make a movie a year, I'm like, if I could get a fan film out, this might be my chance to finally make a Star Wars movie, And so I started really working on it really hard. And then I saw what Disney did, and I'm like, oh, all my dreams crushed. There are other people like me out there who have spent decades learning how to be another Lucas, learning how to develop these kinds of things and these stories and all this stuff. We're inspired by him. We want to be the next generation Lucas, but we're not the ones getting the chance to make Star Wars. And that's the problem. Now, I'm a fan of Favreau. Favreau really kicked off the MCU in an amazing way. Yeah. And as an actor, his character Happy is a fucking great support character in the Iron Man movies and everything. I love Favreau. He's not Star Wars. He doesn't know Star Wars enough. Favreau, like almost everybody in Hollywood, they're so busy making movies and doing the things they do. They don't read these books. They don't play the video games. They don't read the comic books. I bet he's probably picked up 1 or 2 Star Wars comics when he was a kid, and he saw the movies, of course. But these guys aren't really Star Wars. When I hear Favreau is going to save the day, I'm like, well, he has the cinematic talent, the film production talent, and the ability to direct creative teams in a fucking great way. Look at his Iron Man suit. That was groundbreaking when the first Iron Man came out. He can direct talent, and he is the man to direct. But he's not the developer for Star Wars. And Filoni especially isn't.
I don't trust Filoni.
He's a simp, dude. He's one of them for sure. Look at his Whammon speech.
But his cowboy hat.
As Nano Reaper would say, Dave Filoni's wearing an $8 fucking Walmart cowboy hat. He cannot wear that fucking hat. No. And Tony, what did you say, Tony? He can't have a voice like that and wear a cowboy hat?
No, it's in the Constitution.
Definitely Texas's Constitution for sure. But what gets me? I started to watch Clone Wars when it came out back in the day, and there were some things I started liking. Liked about it at first. I hated the character designs. Anakin looks dumb. Obi-Wan looks dumb. But those are some of those elements. But what really bothered me is, like, for example, he threw Trandoshans in there. Those are the worst possible Trandoshans I could ever imagine anyone designing and writing. Let me show you something here. Okay. Bosk is my boy since I was a kid, and I saw him growl at fucking Darth Vader himself, standing on the bridge of Vader's ship, and he went, like, fuck you, Vader, I do what I want. I was instantly like, ooh, what a badass bounty hunter. Fuck Boba Fett. I like Bosk, and Trandoshans have been one of my, if not my favorite, I love Nautolans too, but favorite Star Wars species. And when I was like, I saw his Trandoshans, they're little short, fat, dwarf looking things, like 4'8" or 5 foot tall with long, skinny arms. I'm like, that's not a fucking Trandoshan. It angered me right off the bat. Things like that really bothered me. Ahsoka pissed me off right off the bat because anybody who knows how the Republic functioned knows damn well that the Jedi Council would never ever give Anakin a Padawan. Most Jedi.
It didn't make any sense him getting a Padawan. That's why I was like, why is she his Padawan? Because they never really explain why. It's just, I'm like,
but people write their own version of that when I talk about this. Well, the council felt that Anakin needed a Padawan to try to teach him responsibility. I said, they don't throw Padawans at somebody so that they can mature as a person. That's not the point of Master and Padawan. The Master is a teacher, and they select the best teachers out of all the Masters only. If you're just an okay teacher, you're probably not getting a Padawan unless there's something about you they feel idealizes the Jedi in an important way. But
yeah,
like Mace Windu didn't have a Padawan, for example, one of the most powerful Jedi. He was not teacher material, as you can see. You know, at any second you think he's going to go, you know, he's going to be like, use the Force, motherfucker. You
I always wanted just one motherfucker out of him, and that would have been,
yeah.
You know, it would have been like when it would have taken me out of it, but it still would have been hilarious to hear Mace Windu call Palpatine, you motherfucking what? You're under arrest.
Don't make me break bad on you, motherfucker. Daisy is
too dangerous to be kept alive.
Daisy is on top of shit in chat right now.
Yes,
I like your crowd a lot, you guys.
Yeah, man, we've got a kick ass fucking chat. Daisy Divine's one of our newer subscribers. Curtis YZ, Subhuman. These, you know, we had Angels Draven here earlier. Keely Chow, Benjamin Phelps. Guys, if you're not subscribed, man, hit that button, hit it. Just do it. I'm at 509 right now. We're trying to moving up, man, like George and Wheezy.
Fucking alpha male, bro.
Hey, I'm just trying to entertain, and like I said, man, the subscribers like to see me suffer, so I watch horrible shows. So yeah, man, you guys got WandaVision. My review for that will be out tomorrow. I've got to I got to take it home here. It's about that time to wrap her up. We've been going for an hour and a half. Ran over tonight, but that's all right. We're having a great fucking convo. Greg, thank you, man, for coming on.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Can I say one thing real quick before?
Yeah, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Daisy just said something that I'm the only person I've seen saying this out there. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but nobody else I see saying this. Everybody's attacking me for it. You know, she said right there, they are all buddy-buddy behind the scenes. There is no civil war inside Lucasfilm. Spot on, Daisy. It's bullshit that they're generating. It's clickbait. And people are jumping on, oh, Gina Carano. Gina's going to come out in 6 months or 2 months or something and do SJW shit. Mark my fucking words.
I don't think she will. That's one. I do not think she will. I have followed her whole career when she started fighting. She's one of those people. Her nickname was Conviction when she was fighting, and I have seen her stick to her guns, and I think she would walk away from Hollywood before she would circumvent her beliefs, which I agree with her on a lot of stuff. I really do. And I love to see her stand, especially these fucking weirdos on Twitter that are attacking her for the fucking mask thing and the pronouns and all that shit. She basically just fuck it. You know, acting is a hobby to her. She could go back and she doesn't have to like ever fight again, but she could go get a contract with one of these companies as a commentator, knock off a couple $100K a year, go do fight analysis and still have a fucking happy life and wouldn't even have to worry about the weirdos in Hollywood. But no, I don't see, she's one person I really don't see flipping. It would be like James Woods going SJW at this point. That would be the biggest fucking kayfabe job of all time.
Wouldn't surprise me. They're all in it together over there. They play characters. You said it. She's an actor, and she wouldn't be there if she wasn't one of them. They have a gate in place, so I'm going to be very skeptical. I will say this: I'm not going to back any. I'm not even going to back Hamill at this point. I don't trust any of them over there. So take it as you will, but yeah, I don't fall for it. But props to you, Daisy, for saying that in the chat. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, Ben Phelps subscribed. We're at 510. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
Ben.
you,
Hey, he's one of the Brain Cage creators right there.
Oh, all right. Hey,
yeah.
Welcome. Let's see. Wait, we got to share out this one too. I just shared the Gun Demon link in the chat. I'm going to pull the company men. We're going to.
Oh, and one more thing too.
Yes.
I didn't cover this earlier. I'll be really quick. In the Gun Demon campaign is going to be. I think I covered the issue 0, right, of World War Hell in the stretch goal. We're going to also the Battlegate. The reason I showed the collectible trading card game is in Gun Demon. I will have the hero deck for the Brain Cage universe, and in the Company Man, he's got the villain deck.
Okay.
So that's why I was showing those cards. Is we got some big shit going on. I've got a world-class sculptor named Martin Soto who's sculpting a statue of my villain Abaddon. He's going to paint it. He's amazing. It's going to be a unique collectible. We've got a lot of cool shit going on. But anyway, I'll let you end the show here. Thank you so much for having me. This has been an absolute blast. And I love your crew here, man. These are really cool people, real Star Wars fans.
Absolutely, man. Tony, what do you got? You got anything coming out this weekend?
Man, I feel like I need to make a video on a series of videos on how to make Hollywood a better place. So maybe I'll get to work on that. And the first video being that I think every actor, every actress, whatever word we're using today in Hollywood should have to, every actor in Hollywood, they should have to maybe do a play, maybe film a reboot, something. Let's go with the play of The Wizard of Oz. They have to do a 3-month engagement as the Tin Man, wearing that original lead paint, where when they take it off and peel his face off with him, to really humble them. And I think that would help these celebrities be less assholes,
I don't think you can help them because they lack the life experience in the trial by fire.
That's what the lead paint is for.
Oh, that's not a trial by fire. That's playing around and having fun. I did that at LARP. Like a bunch of us do that at LARP. Like for the whole weekend, you're monsters and orcs and stuff with paint. That's a joke, man. When I was starving, I would rather have been painting my face.
Oh shit. All right, yeah, I got let's see. What do I have coming out this? Oh yeah, we got WandaVision episode 3 review. That'll be dropping tomorrow morning. And then I am off for the rest of the night because I don't have my son tomorrow. Me and the wife are going to do adult things. I'm going to go out to dinner, get some drinks, and just have a good fucking time tomorrow night. But I'll be back Sunday night. I'll be watching and reviewing Batwoman. That'll drop Monday morning, season 2, episode 2. Then Wednesday morning, you'll have your Prodigal Son review. Of course, you have episode 136 of Monday Night Going In Raw. I'll be on TR4 over on author Stephen Walton's channel Tuesday night. Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. I'll be on Sporking News for the Humpty Dump. Then 8:30 right here for Going Rogue. And then next Friday, Fandom Menace Friday Night Live. Vinny Tartamella will be joining us right here. Yeah, and you'll get videos. You'll get a couple pop culture videos next week too. I was only able to get one out, but that was the Batwoman video. Go check that out. I talk about a BLM storyline that they're going to inject into Batwoman now. Of course, we didn't fucking know that was going to happen. Also, Tony and I are going to be diligently trying to finish our Flight of the Navigator and Last Starfighter head-to-head review that we're doing. And I am starting to work on a little series, kind of playing off the VH1 concept of I Love the 80s. I'm going to pick a few things from each year, from each year throughout the decade of the 80s, and I will make a little video about it for you guys because I am an 80s child. I was born in 1980, so yeah, that's of course my spoiler alert, my favorite movie for 1980. I mean, obviously in retrospect, because I was fucking born in 1980, is Empire Strikes Back. I mean, that is my favorite movie overall in life. So yeah, there's nothing that could stop that. So yeah, man, thank you guys all. Daisy Divine, Curtis, Subhuman 84, Benjamin Phelps, new subscriber. Thank you, Keely Chow. Everybody in the chat, man. Nano Reaper. You guys absolutely rock. Phoenix Animation was here earlier. JM 2021. Yeah, Millennial Me. That's Sleep Guy. Lady Toriel. Yeah, if I missed anybody, I apologize. You guys have been fucking awesome tonight, man. You're on fire. Thank you for just spending the beginnings of your Fandom Menace Friday night here with us. So until next time, I'm Metep Wakuian of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of yous. And remember, if I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. I'll catch you on the next one.
Boom!